And that meeting between Biden and Xi is expected to take place in California this Wednesday, marking the pair's second face-to-face meeting since the start of a Biden presidency. But this only heightens awareness of concerns Washington has over national security threats looming from China. One America's Chanel Rion has more.
This week, China's President Xi flies to San Francisco, his first visit since 2017. He meets with President Biden. The stakes are high, but expectations are low. While China is a $700 billion trading partner to the U.S., under Biden, diplomatic relations have festered almost beyond repair. China's fingerprints are all over the deadly wars in Israel and Ukraine, all over the fentanyl deaths in America. Critics say China has been emboldened by weak American policy, but when you follow the money, this goes deeper. Our guest, Brian Costello, has a background in international finance. Brian, you've been one of the most outspoken critics of this deep-level infiltration in the United States financial system. Talk to us first about China's visit this week. Xi says he wants American executives to know that China is open for business. Has it been closed?
You know, Chanel, for the elite in this country, it hasn't been closed, right? One of the CCP strategies is to make sure the elite is wired into China's financial success. So as important as Xi, being facilitated with Newsom's meeting in California is today, the business meetings with the people around Xi will be extremely important for them because they're going to look at how these investments, this market access we've had to China for a price for buying malfeasance in the Biden administration. Is this going to be able to continue? Are we going to be able to make money as we take advantage of the American people and ship our industries over there?
We have several names that have been floating around in the sphere of individuals who should be looked at, who have deep ties to China, and I know that list is very long, but you in particular have been calling out a person named Nat'l Shen. He is one of the big backers behind Sequoia Capital. You say the White House is protecting Nat'l Shen. Who is this guy and why do you say this?
Sure, Chanel. Well, so America's preeminent venture firm that most people haven't heard of, but they've certainly heard of the companies they've invested in, like NVIDIA, Airbnb, Apple. And what Sequoia does is they invest in companies. They take a percentage ownership of those companies. They put capital in for them to grow. They go on the board of directors, and they're strategic partners in building this company. Nat'l Shen was a partner at America's preeminent venture firm, Sequoia, and he also worked for the Chinese government. So he's a member of something called the National Committee of the Chinese People Political Consultative Conference. So it seems shocking to people, but we had a member of the Chinese government working for America's preeminent venture firm, wiring U.S. elite investors into China's success, and that obviously has come at a tremendous price to the American economy and our national security.
Nat'l Shen, as the backer, one of the major backers behind Sequoia, you point out that it is indeed very problematic that someone who is in a very high-level government, Communist Party position inside China is also a massive decision maker inside these major investments across American industry. Yes, that is a problematic situation. I think most people would agree with that. That said, Sequoia and Shen have all denied that there was any kind of crossover here between China policy and decision-making at Sequoia. Your response to that?
Yeah, that was their position for years, until there was an article in the Wall Street Journal over the summer where Kurt Campbell on the National Security Council was meeting with Don Vieira, who's the head of public policy at Sequoia, who's Lisa Monaco, the Deputy Attorney General's former chief of staff, and breaking up the firm. Well, if Sequoia said for years that their China arm was a separate entity, what are they actually breaking up? It wasn't a separate entity. That was just a story to try and, as they gave political donations, to try and keep it from being confronted. In February 2nd, 2022, a couple weeks before the China initiative was shut down by the Biden administration, I was interviewed by the FBI and a DOJ liaison for the FBI after we brought what we believe were substantial allegations against Shen into the agency, into the FBI Washington field office. I was told in the interview that there are multiple agencies within the government working on this. There were issues at the SEC, there were issues with the FBI, there were issues with the DOJ, there were issues with the National Security Council. And all that was ever done to Sequoia was Kirk Campbell, who's now nominated to be the Deputy Secretary of State, went in and warned the firm. So they're sitting on potentially 7 Title 18 violations or allegations of 7 Title 18 crimes, and their strategy is to warn the firm.
Brian Costello, an illuminating conversation. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me and for covering this important topic for the American people.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.